Hotep, Black Power. Hotep brothers and sisters. I had a slight interruption just now, but I'm back in the groove right now. Um, right now is a time of mourning. Uh, our chief of staff, my dear brother, chief of staff of the Street Law Soldiers, brother Harris Abdul, has made his ascension and journey to stand among the ancestors in the ancestral realm. And at this time, I'm deeply saddened, but at the same time, it's a time for rejoicing as well. If you understand what I'm talking about, if you actually have vision, what the brother had went through the last 3 years, you would understand that he put up a good fight and he's at peace now. You know, for 3 years he had no tongue at all, and no food, no solid food for 3 years, just liquids. Being fed through the neck. And down to about 80 pounds from 260. And the brother still stood tall, still dressed, still tried to stand tall, still went on Facebook, had a Facebook page, and fought a hell of a fight. I never seen no one in my life since I've been on this earth with that has been so courageous in this fight with this fucking beast, this man-made, cracker-made, motherfucking devil-ass, humanoid, caucasoid, man-made disease called cancer. Uh, and even all the other diseases. This devil has concocted the AIDS virus, all types of diabolical schemes and diseases and plots to annihilate the original man and woman on the planet. And it infuriates me when I think about it. But at the same time, I use that fire and that rage into helping our people get liberated and to fight this cracker, not being afraid to stand up to this devil, and fight this devil head on. But let me get back to my brother, and I'm just gonna share, a part of the brother's story, and first of all, as always, giving honor to the ancestors, giving honor to the Creator, and also giving honor to his wife, Sister Terry Harris, who is a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous queen. When they use the term for better, for worse, that term it should be in Webster's dictionary. It should have her picture there. Because she stuck by and fought with that brother, fought with that God to the very, very end. You know, and we shall all, everyone that knew her, shall all be grateful for her forever. You know, and I think the ancestors are proud of her, and I think the Creator, is very pleased, with her work and her commitment into being a queen and being the other half to this brother. So, she's truly a goddess, and she should be an example for a lot of you queens out there. A lot of you queens out there. If you even become half of what she is, then you're doing a hell of a job. But anyway, me and the brother, we worked in a youth facility, more like it was a juvenile halfway house for juveniles that have been detained, and they were placed in this facility prior to going to court, like a pretrial facility, residential. And this was about 14 years ago, and we always, me and the brother, we used to always clash all the time, two different personalities, two different energies, but at the same time, unknowingly going in the same direction with the same visions and goals, if you will. Um, so, in the facility that we were working in, it was actually the youths ran the facility. It was like the youths were the counselors and the counselors were the clients. We had a lot of staff that was scared of the residents. That we even had a couple of them that tricked with the residents. They gambled with them, they got high with them, they bought drugs from them. It was just a wide open place, and that wasn't my vision, and neither was it his. He was there before me. I think he got there about a year before I got there. But anyway, one night I sat on the couch and I just watched how things were running in there, and I was literally in tears. And I asked the ancestor and the creator to give me the strength and direction as to what to do to try to bring some order to save these children's lives. So no one appeared to care. And so I did a group, and it was these crackers that called the street law that was supposed to come. They were supposed to come in there once a week, and they never came. They never came. Every week I waited for them. They never showed up, and so one week, the clients were actually waiting this particular week, and I said, "Yeah, they're here." I'm talking about me. So and I had them, and I told them to sit down, get in a circle, and after 20, 30 minutes, if you don't like what's being said, you can kindly just go on about your business. And after about 15 minutes, the room was quiet, and I began drilling, because that's my craft. That's one of my crafts. And, you know, I started digging into everybody's ass in there. Got down to a lot of core issues to the point where the staff was in awe. Brother Abdul was in awe, dropped his ink pen, his mouth dropped wide open. And after about an hour, um, the group was over. He came and shook my hand. So next week I did the same thing. This time, Brother Abdul sat in the circle like he was one of the clients. And that's how powerful the groups were. And he had told me, he said, I've been waiting for somebody like you to come through, you know, so we can clean this place up. So that's what we did. I went home, I wrote a format up, and I envisioned a structured, highly structured, uh, African comedic based program. And it was highly effective, powerful. We got to, the judges and the DAs and a lot of the parole and probation officers, were coming to see who we were because of the recidivism rate had went down. A lot of the children were uh, going to school every day. A lot of them stopped using drugs. A lot of them obtained employment. We had a few of them that went into the military. And one, I won't mention his name, he completed college in Connecticut, and he went on to L.A. to be a stand-up comedian. And I will never mention his name. And but with that success, always comes jealousy. And so the jealousy came in, and it was basically directed towards me. It was from things from, the children only listen to me, and to, I shouldn't be telling them that they're black gods. Just anything to try to, uh, discredit myself, discredit Brother Abdul, to tear us apart, to tear us down, to tear to destroy the children, because what they wanted, and it's still like that today. These trifling ass this black Indian based ran organization. They want the children to stay in trouble. They don't want them to learn nothing, because the more they come back, everybody gets paid off of them. As long as they keep the beds filled, everybody gets paid. So when the recidivism rate began to drop from like 89% to maybe like 27%, it became a problem with the crackers and and these house niggas. So to make a long story short, I was blackballed, but I was also working two other jobs. I was working at another youth facility, and I was working at an adult pretrial facility as well, working with brothers. So you know, we took the term street law and we made it a group. And we had those groups, and we started doing these groups all over. We started going to different facilities because people wanted us to bring the street law group, the meetings, into their facilities, treatment centers, group homes, mentally challenged facilities. So, and even uh, churches. We did a lot of programs and stuff in churches and faith-based organizations and so on. So and I told Brother Abdul, we're gonna have to get legal. And I remember the smile that he had on his face when we went down there and we had the paperwork, thanks to my brother, Minister Alan Tillman, who assisted us and guided us and directed us into how to obtain a nonprofit organization. And I'm very grateful for that, brother. And I never forget the look, in Brother Abdul's face of joy that he had accomplished something of that magnitude. Don't get me wrong, I felt the same way. That's how I was able to know how he felt. So we began to do groups and do programs everywhere, and eventually I began to lecture and debate, defending, not defending, but trying to destroy and tear down white supremacy, the system of racism, white supremacy. Excuse me. And up to this day, which I still do, still lecture, still do programs, I still talk about various issues, from the destruction of black civilization to the murder of black athletes, entertainers, all sorts of different things pertaining to certain vices that hinder the black community from being liberated. So, but the brother Abdul, we did so much together. Travel, we did so much. He was such a powerful brother, such a powerful brother, such an inspiration to other people. He helped so many youths, even some of them he had living with him. And a couple of them, he made attempts to adopt them. Him and his wife made attempts to adopt some of these youths. They didn't have homes, that were abandoned by their parents. And everywhere we went in the city, the youth. It was some youth that knew us. That we had some type of interaction with, or assisted them into getting on the right track. Mind you that only that's we're just only two people, and a lot of the youths have become adults now. Several of them have been murdered. But at the same time, several of them have been successful, and that's just how it goes, you know. But Brother Abdul, he's the chief of staff for the street law soldiers, and he wore that title proud, you know. He used to love to go out to feed the homeless, which is one of the things that we do, that the street law soldiers do. We feed and clothe the homeless. We go into the most drug-ridden, downtrodden areas in Washington, D.C. and the metropolitan area, and we hand out clothing, and we give out food, hot meals, and clothing, coats, shoes, um, even sometimes, money, not to the point where, we assisting people in buying drugs. We don't do no shit like that, but, um, just the I guess, the duo that we were, because I remember before we used to go into work in the evenings, we used to sit in his truck and we used to pray, shake hands, and let's go get him. And we go in there and we were highly respected in those facilities because they knew we were no nonsense when it came to saving these young men, you know, because the youth, that's our military, that's our future, that's our tomorrow. If we don't give them nothing, if they don't see any type of male leadership, other than what they see on TV, athletes and entertainers, then they're doomed for failure. So we took a lot of things personal. We took a lot of things to heart. But like I said, at the same time, we were blackballed. Especially me. Because I was so outspoken. You know, I'm not the type of brother that bites my tongue. And I say what's on my mind. I tell it like it really truly is. And let the chips fall where they may, because the truth needs no support. And I always had Brother Abdul stand behind me. Powerful, powerful brother. I could talk about this brother, forever and forever and forever and forever, about some of the things we done. I mean, we done everything together. If you seen one, you seen the other, and that's just how it was. And we always talked about, if one of us were to leave before the other, that we're to be buried in our uniforms if possible. Um, play drums and hold up the red, black, and green flag. Which I've already done. You know, I don't have to wait for a quote unquote a service to do that. I've rang the bell, I poured the libation. I've cried, I've physically cried out to the ancestors. And I'm not. You never get over this. You just learn to live with it, because within the last 3 years, I've lost a tremendous amount of people. And sometimes you can get to the point where you become numb, but this was unnumbing. This was, a heavy blow to me, and, you know, I'm saddened because he's gone, but I'm also relieved that he doesn't have to suffer anymore, and, that's the selfish side of me speaking about wanting him to stay here and go through that, I can't even roll my tongue up for 5 minutes, let alone not have one for 3 years, and having to write everything down, having not to be able to eat a meal, you know, and still fight, and he fought a hell of a fight, and this is the same month. This Dr. Collard's birthday, his birthday, Earth Day. This is the same month Dr. Wilson made her ascension. So and my father's his birthday. So very Dr. King. It's just very very powerful month. and as we move along, and we're gonna have more situations, more situations. A lot of more, lot more of us are going to be leaving. That's just a part. That's just an extension of life. An extension. Just another side. This is just one. This is just, one chapter out of the book. So, you know, um, but I'm energized. To be the best person that I can be, continue to stand strong, you know, continue to make street law, even stronger, and to put my all in all into it, as I have been, um, and allow this brother, because he's gonna always be the chief of staff. That's that. That he can never be replaced. Never be replaced. You know, he will always have that position. So and I know right now that he's, in the ancestral realm, because by me being able to see a lot of things, when I know for me, when someone first makes their ascension, you're in disarray, you're in confusion, you're in uncertainty, your mind is going haywire. And that's because that person that's the process of the transition. That's the process of the ascension in determining, the travel and the uncertainty that the individual has as to where they're going. And then once you begin to, calm down, your energy becomes more calmer. You can feel that that person has reached their destination and has settled down and have gotten comfortable, to the point where they're in position to, extend their energy out down to the brothers and sisters, down to the people here, you know. So, I'm attending a Dr. King, Dr. Khaled seminar this evening. Matter of fact, shortly, and you know, I was watching some of Dr. King's lectures, some of his speeches last night. And see, a lot of y'all don't know that you got an Old Testament Dr. King and you got a New Testament Dr. King. Now, the Old Testament Dr. King is the turn the other cheek and this peaceful protest shit. And then you got New Testament King. This was after he met Malcolm and met with Elijah, met with Muhammad Ali and several other brothers and sisters. And that's when he made the speech. And if you get a chance, you can watch it. You can look on my Facebook page. I have it on there where Dr. King said that, out his own mouth, that the I Have a Dream speech, in so many ways, it was a nightmare. That I have liberated my people into a burning house. Liberation, he said, no, integration. Integration to him was a burning house that he had led his people in. And then when he began to speak, on an international level, telling the brothers in the streets that, telling them that don't go over Vietnam, discouraging them from the war, and that's when Hoover and put in the orders to have the brother assassinated. But as always, they can never do nothing. These crackers and these devils can never do anything without the help of some nigga. And I use that term, specifically for a specific type of black person. Niggas. With the assistance of niggas. And if you want to know the truth, as to, who was complicit in the assassination of Dr. King that looked like us. Just follow Steve Coakley's lecture on the assassination of Dr. King, and we also have a Street Law News newspaper where we have a article, um, pictorial section, discussing the entire King assassination, step by step, of everyone who was involved and how everything went. So, you know, once again, Brother Harris Abdul, who stands among the ancestors, you know, keep pushing, brother. Save a space for me, brother. Because I'm gonna keep banging for you. I'm gonna keep banging for you. I'm not gonna waste a whole bunch of time walking around, sad and crying and mourning. I yelled out to the ancestors. I gave a loud crowd. A physical loud cry. I had to do it, and I had to go somewhere, you know, alone and do this. So I can get some relief, so I can be able to function, so I can be able to represent you properly without putting emotion into the principle, into the process. So, I'm very grateful to have, a brother, like you, and there'll never be another Harris Abdul, not in this lifetime. Not in this form here. You know, and you're gonna be truly missed, brother. We love you. You've been loved by a lot of people. So you know, just stand tall among the ancestors, and we'll meet. We'll meet. Our energies and spirits. We'll all link up. Because we had some wonderful times here. Wonderful times here. You know, as well as we had some rough times. We didn't agree on everything. We disagreed on some things. But we didn't hold any grudges and attitudes and all that type of stuff. Because I learned how to value male friendships. Because those are lessons that you learn as you go along. Because a lot of our brothers out here, they need to know how to have a personal relationship with yourself first. Then you're able to have a relationship with someone else. You're able to have a friendship with someone else. That's why a lot of brothers can't get along with sisters and vice versa, because you know when you're not looking for inner peace, when you're not looking for growth, when you're not looking for change, you're gonna have that type of friction. You're gonna have those disagreements, and it's just like two trains on the same track. It's not gonna work. You're gonna have a collision. You know, Queen Nzinga, who is my queen. We generally stay on the same page. You know, because I have to. It has to be a vision. It has to be a goal. You have to be working towards something. And so that's why being conscious, and being a leader, trying to be a leader, and standing up and representing, who I am, trying to represent a black man, and be the epitome of a black male, and takes a lot, because trust me, I gave up a lot of things, because when you become conscious, you no longer do. It's a lot of things you don't do. You don't indulge in drugs and alcohol. You don't indulge in pornography. You don't indulge in fornication. You don't read. There's certain things you don't read. There's certain things you don't watch. There's certain things you don't do. And for real, there's certain things you don't eat. Certain things you don't say. When you make that step, and that's why a lot of our brothers and sisters, don't want to step into the realm of consciousness because they're not willing to give those things up because they've become addicted to a lot of drama. A lot of, as long as they're surrounded by a lot of drama, a lot of confusion, and a lot of pain, and a lot of uncertainty, a lot of victimization, then they're okay. Just like the average, for a lot of the average person that talks about people all the time, the average black gossiper, when something is said about them, they can't take it. It can be the least little thing that you say about them, but they can talk about everybody else. But if you say something about them, they'll have a heart attack. It's World War III going on inside of them emotionally. They're tore all the way down, but they're so comfortable into talking about other people. And so that's a behavior, that's a mental illness actually. When all you do is talk about other people, you never say nothing about yourself. You never talk about your faults, your struggles, your downfalls. You don't even laugh at yourself. You know, and you take everything personal. If somebody laughs at you, that's mental illness. It's a mental illness. And I tell people, be the best person that you can be. You're only going around here once, one time. You know, so make a stand. Be well respected. Make your mark. Make your mark in this world. I want to go down in history as a freedom fighter. As someone who done their best to liberate their people, to liberate the black nation. That fought tooth and nail. That's what Sankofa wants to be. Shaka is a warrior. Sankofa means someone who has returned to their past. So that's I want to be remembered in that way. Not as far as being somebody that dressed real good, that or there was one of these one of these models and one of these pretty boys and all that shit. I'm not that shit is irrelevant to to black manhood. It's irrelevant. And until we stop looking at things on the exterior, and basing things on the exterior, we're not gonna move forward. Just like a lot of these stupid niggas and these stupid sisters, dumbass sisters and dumbass brothers who spend $400 and $500 on a Helly Hansen coat, but they don't even know who Helly Hansen is. Who was a white homosexual that was a cross country skier. Yeah, some shit like that. But he was a homosexual. Excuse me. And and I've heard sisters on Facebook talk about getting their children Helly Hansen jackets, because you take that same energy. You get that same energy is being transferred. And then when you get a letter from school saying, your son, was in the bathroom engaged in some type of, homosexual act, you want to sue the school. But you gotta look at yourself. And then a lot of these you sisters that buying these infants and these babies that shit, you know, you're not buying it for them. You doing that so people can look at you and give you false ups. Like you a hell of a mother because you bought that shit for a little baby. You know, but you got a $400 jacket on, $200 shoes, and you catching the bus, and you living in the hood with your girlfriend who was on Section 8. And you talking about you holding it down. You taking pictures. You all on social media and Facebook with that with a Helly Hansen jacket on, laying on somebody else's vehicle. You know, but when the motherfucking cracker comes through, it's a whole different ball game. Then if a brother say something about that, somebody look like you say something about that, you ready to put a hot one in them. But the cracker can say what he want. You ain't the cracker shit anyway. That's his shit. You know. Don't you think they sit back and laugh? Don't you think they sit back and laugh at y'all stupid ass niggas? When y'all spend $400 and $500 on your electric bill and your cable bill money on a fucking jacket that just got two H's on it. That's some sick shit. That's some sick shit. Of course, everybody wants everybody wants some of the finer things in life. Of course, but what are you willing to do to get it? You don't take you don't put your basic needs on the back burner so you can get some shit to look nice in. While you're living fucked up. You look good on the outside, but you living fucked up. And a lot of people had those jackets and all that shit on North Face and all that shit on. A lot of them don't even have their own place. But you got $200, $300 shoes on, $400-$500 jacket on, $200 jeans on. That's a security deposit for an apartment. And then some of y'all don't care. As long as you can make enough money infecting the community, poisoning the community, you know, buying that shit at the expense of other people's lives, you know. So I just wanted to, talk about a few things, but mainly, brother Harris Abdul, who, um, by far, man, was one of the greatest brothers, that I've ever met. You know. And once again, like I said, I can go on and on and on, but it's no need to do that. My work gonna come through my actions. I'm gonna show my commitment and my love for the brother through my actions. Into keeping street law, making it reach higher heights. You know, so I'm gonna miss him. And it's gonna be times I'm gonna be hurt. I'm gonna have my moments. That's just life. But at the same time, I have joy too. Because it's about manning up, soldiering up, and and I had support from my brothers, family members, and my queen, who's been deeply affected too. So this was a hell of a blow. But once again, got to keep it moving. Got to keep it moving. Got to stand strong, and that's what I'm gonna do. You know, and till we meet again, brothers. Peace, Black Power, Hotep.